over. What you cooking, man?
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Trey Griggs here, along with Nick and Pedro today. Welcome to Iron Mind. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
I am just happy to be here.
Dude, me too, man. I've missed the last 2 weeks. I missed 2 weeks, man. We've been on this cross-country journey. We're now in Eugene, Oregon here. We went to North Dakota. We went to Montana. Spent some time out there, which was a great time with the family. And here we are in Eugene, Oregon for 2 weeks for some family stuff. It's 4 in the morning here, probably a little earlier than I'm used to, but we are back. It's good to be back, man. How you guys doing?
Yeah,
Hey, what's up, dog?
I got a question. How do you make that list? I mean, you said you got some family, but as far as the rest of it, it sounds like a list of places I'd never have a reason to go to.
Yeah, the truth is, we've kind of been on this 50-state kick for the last couple of years. We started RVing back in 2020. And we weren't really trying to do anything except take our kids to see history where it happened. That was kind of our phrase was let's show our kids history where it happened instead of just reading about it in books or watching it in movies. Let's go and actually touch it and feel it and see it for real. So we started doing that in 2020, and we looked, in 2021, like the fall of 2021, my wife and I looked up and we're like, oh my gosh, we've been to 30 some states. It's 32, 33 at that point. And we're like, man, what if we got into all 50 before they graduated high school? That was kind of our thing. It's like, what if we can get into all 50? And so we just set out to do that. And we're currently at 47. We just hit one more on this trip, which is North Dakota. Nice. That was our kids' 47. That was my 50th state. So I've hit all 50. So that was pretty cool. But so they're at 47. We got 3 more to go. And so, yeah, it's definitely kind of a list now. But that's how it started. So they've got Utah, which we're going to hit on the way home.
Nice.
We're going to go to Zion National Park and Arches National Park. It'll be fun. And then after that, we have Michigan, oddly enough, in the Midwest, not too far from us. And then we have North Carolina, and then we're done.
Nice.
So we have those 2 left, and we'll get those before my daughter graduates next year. She's a senior now, so we're really kind of getting down to it. But that's kind of how that whole thing happened.
I'll be in Utah this time next month.
Oh, nice. Doing well. What's going on out there?
Doing a Spartan race out at Snowbasin. So there's a whole trifecta weekend. So that means all 3 race distances. And it's on the mountain. And my wife actually is from there. She grew up there. So we're going to go stay with her friend and go suffer. Go climb a mountain.
On the mountain. So is that close to Salt Lake City, or what's that close to?
If I remember right, I want to say it's like an hour and a half away, but...
Okay. Because we're going to hit Park City on the way out, which is close to Salt Lake City, but it's up in the mountains a little bit. So that's cool. It's beautiful out there, man. Like Utah's kind of a surprising gem. There's a lot of beautiful things out in Utah. So
I really enjoyed it. When we were out there 2019, we went out there last.
Yeah.
And we did the race and then just like hiked and hung out by the lake and ate a lot of food.
Nice. Well, that'll be fun. That'll be a good time. Pedro, what's up with you, my friend? It's looking good down there in Texas. The sun is up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. The sun starts to rise here about 5:50-ish every day, and it's pretty outside. Nice little breeze. Think it's high 70s, something like that. So it's a lovely morning. Glad to be here with you, gentlemen. I'm just moving through the week. The goal for the end of the week is to make it to Texas Trucking Show down in Houston. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing now. Like I was telling you backstage, man, just busy week. Yesterday, typical Monday in logistics, just slammed, catching up with things from over the weekend, taking in new orders. And then today just got a bunch of stuff to do the rest of the week. Oil change, tire rotation. Kid got a new job, so got to take him in for onboarding. Wife has been sick for the past week, so got to take her to a follow-up tomorrow, and then we still got to do grocery shopping. It's just, and regular work stuff and lounge stuff on top of all of that. So, but I'm excited because there's a fun thing at the end of this, like I said, which is that show down there in Houston. Going to be a good time. It's just like a more intimate match. I think I've said that before. I really enjoy that. Everyone's got their favorite one. I think so far, Texas Truck Show is my second favorite, next to Large Cars and Guitars. And yeah, man. So that's it, dude. Just moving through the paces, man.
How many attendees do they expect there at Texas Trucking Show?
I think they say they get like 25,000 or 35,000.
Man, that's still a big show, man.
Dude, for where it, how do I explain to you the size is the building we were in with Freight and Engine, where Truck Parking Club was and everyone else that matched this year. That's I think the South Wing. That's pretty much the size of Texas Trucking Show. And just think about how many people fit in that space, So it's pretty sizable, man. But it's a good time. It's all indoors, which is fantastic in June in Texas,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so, yeah, man. And it's going to be our one of our first, I guess I'd say our first official lounge after party. We're partnering with someone, but we brought a bunch of sponsors to the event, and we're really psyched about it. We're going to have a good time and going to put some money into a trucking nonprofit, man, that helps owner operators down there in the Southeast Texas area. So really happy about that too.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. That sounds like a good time, man. I've never been. I didn't honestly, until you start talking about it the past couple of weeks, I'd never even really heard of the Texas Trucking Show. It just shows you how out of touch I am up here in Missouri.
Well, dude, you gotta think, man. There's probably 100+ trucking shows that go on every year, and you can't keep up with all of them. But the guy or the same person, or I guess it's a series, California, Texas, and Florida Trucking Show are all the same circuit, same guy runs those things. So I found out about it from Van Brown and Bull Snow. So, but it's a good place, man. It's a good show. I call it mini Mats because that's what it is. I mean, it's got the whole production level that Mats does and all of that type stuff. So if it's in the area, come hang out with us. I'll be doing some giveaways. I'll have some friends with me. They'll be doing some giveaways. And like I said, we have a crazy after party at a really cool ice house on Saturday. And that money's going to go to, like I said, to a trucking nonprofit. So, yeah, man, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Do they have a golf tournament at the Texas Trucking Show?
Well, they would if Trey Griggs went to it. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
We may have to have that conversation and see about doing that. Speaking of which, guys, I got to tell you some progress. So Saturday, I got to play around of golf in Albany, about 30 minutes north of here, and played an entire round of golf pain-free for the first time in probably a year. Pain-free, not one swing hurt, not one. And I haven't done that. Yeah, I haven't done that in years. So very thankful for that. Still not 100% with the shoulder, but I mean, we're very functional now, and living pretty much pain-free, comparatively speaking, for sure. I'm not even really noticing it anymore until I do something extreme. Like doing a push-up. Sometimes I feel it, but rarely. And doing a pull-up still is pretty painful. But outside of that, normal life activities, playing golf, no pain. So I'm really thrilled about that. That's things are going well. There we go.
I still can't. My I haven't even bothered hanging up my pull-up bar since I moved into this house 6
Oh
months
man.
ago because I still can't grip anything. And my main goal at this point for the year is Ironman, so it's not really a big factor. But I am still doing
Right.
a whole Spartan race in a month, and then I won't be able to use my hand for another week, and then it just does not want to get better. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't take it much to trigger it. I could be walking the dog and
Yeah.
it'll pull just a little
Right.
bit.
Right. Yeah, there's still moments where it happens, but for the most part, to be able to live pain free is pretty nice. So
That is
we got to
exciting.
think about the new sweatshirt too. Look at this, got a little nice little Glacier National Park sweatshirt. Boys, I got to tell you something. If you haven't been to Glacier National Park, oh man, it is beautiful. It's like a mini Alaska. It's really, really, really pretty.
Where's that one at? Is that in Oregon?
That's actually in Montana.
Montana,
It's near Whitefish, Montana. It's actually, I think it's the only national park that actually is partly in Canada and partly in the United States. There's about 10% of the park is in Canada, in Alberta, I believe. It's
Now-
beautiful, man. It's like,
I have a list that I came up with years ago too, and I call it the Buffett list. And I actually went through every lyric of every Jimmy Buffett song ever recorded, and I wrote down
of course you
every
did.
single location, city, state, country, restaurant, bar. If he named it, I put it on the list, and I call it the Buffett list. And I have been working on it for about 11 years now. And at the time, there was about 180 places on there, but then he put out like 2 more albums and opened like 20 more margaritas. They all count. So
Wow, that's a lot of places. I didn't realize that he talked about locations so much. Maybe that's why he was so popular. He talked about.
well, I mean, if he
everybody's
sang about, let's say he sang about Missouri, right? Then I have to go to Missouri. But if he also said, if he said Big Sky, oh, not Missouri. I'm thinking if he said Montana, but then he
Yeah.
said, is Missoula, Montana?
Yeah, Missoula is one of the main cities in Montana.
So he then mentions Missoula. That's a whole other location. In New Orleans, there was 9 locations just in New Orleans. because he talks.
Okay.
So if you listen to certain songs, and he says like why can I never think of anything right now? But the Ninth Ward, for example, is location in New Orleans. Cafe Beignet, stuff like that. And I just came up with it like randomly years ago. And I'll tell you what, it was actually kind of a fun way to do things sometimes, because oftentimes you're driving through somewhere, and there's nothing there. Like you want to say, all right, I went to this place, I did something. So it kind of forced me to go find a place to have a cup of coffee or just experience something, I guess.
I must not be a big Jimmy Buffett fan because I don't remember all the places except Margaritaville.
Well, there's a lot of those. So
I know there are. Yeah.
Even like the song Volcano, he rattles off like 20 or 30 spots. So
Oh man, that's pretty crazy. Did you do that yourself, or did you use AI or something to get that?
no,
I
I did this years ago, and to be honest, I scoured the internet and I couldn't find anybody else who had done it. Like, I can't believe that list didn't already exist.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I wonder if AI will do that now. I should just ask it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that AI could probably pull the locations.
You know what?
quickly
If
now.
I could
That'd
bring
be good
something
stuff.
up now, that's an awesome segue to something. Speaking of healthy habits and AI, I don't know if either one of you saw my post from the other day. There's a photograph of me sitting in the back of an ambulance, but I have been chasing down a health issue for years. I don't talk about it that often because I don't want to bitch, but my low effort running, my zone 2 heart rate a couple years ago, all of a sudden I'm running like 15, 16 minute miles in order to stay in an easy pace, which should be like an 11-minute mile. And my sweat rate was through there's just all these different things wrong, but nobody would believe me. Number one, because of I look fit, right? So all the doctors still saying whatever. But I mean, I spent years tracking things down, looking through. I had a heart cath. I did all the EKGs, all that shit. Saw everything with a pulmonologist. I mean, I did like 20 different tests. I had to fight with insurance for every single one of them. All we did was kept ruling things out, but I knew something was wrong. So finally, I mean, I was about ready to pack it in. about a month ago. I'm like, I ran a 17-minute mile, and I'm like, I just literally ran 3.5 miles in an hour, and I'm like, what is the point of this? Like, I'm hurting my body even trying to go this slow. And so finally, I just got on ChatGPT and I started talking to it and dumping in everything about my health, including the diabetes, the medication, the timing that I take, and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, it produced a theory for me. That basically, because I don't have a thyroid, because of having cancer, I have to take a medication that is supposed to convert into like basically energy within the body and do all these things. I'm trying to give like the easy version of this, and mine was low, chronically low for years. And the crazy thing is because there's 2 different markers that show you this one thing, but both of those markers are in range. You have to look at them in like sort of a holistic view in order to notice that like the difference that it's not converting. Got a blood test last week, confirmed it with the doctor, started a medication on Saturday. Solved
That is
ChatGPT.
That's wild, man. That is wild. I think about that. Like, I was just talking to one of my freight broker friends about some of the things that he's seeing with AI in freight brokers and what it's going to do to the industry. And that's amazing. Like, think about all the professions that are going to be somewhat in jeopardy because of ChatGPT and what AI can do. I mean, think about that. Like, you were able to get diagnosed with what a human doctor couldn't. Now, they prescribe the medicine. Think about this: someday, AI is probably going to tell you what medicine to take.
It did.
And so, what do you need a doctor for? You just need a prescription.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's scary. You see these jokes. People say, "Hey, right now your future doctor is using ChatGPT to take their med exam, so get healthy." Well, my doctor uses ChatGPT.
Yeah.
They all do. So, and it is scary because ChatGPT can be wrong and lie. Actually, make shit up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's only as good as the inputs, and that's kind of the crazy part. Is I wonder if it's going to get smarter, or if it's actually going to get dumber. I don't know.
That's my concern too. I'm like, I was really excited, but I refused to celebrate until I saw the doctor last week because I was not willing to put all my trust into the AI. I wanted the human interaction, somebody who actually knows a little bit more or something. And that's where it was exciting that, that he confirmed it because sometimes when doing research or even I actually try to solve for some other health issues, including some of my sleep apnea stuff, and I'll upload my sleep data into it, and then I'll ask it questions, and it will actually lie to me. I'll be like, "Hey, what was the leak rate last night?" And it'll be like, "Oh, your leak rate was 20%," and I'm looking right at it. I'm like, "No, it's not." So, there of course it comes with a concern, but here's the thing: I had the conversation with Chat, the wide angle view that no other doctor did. The health issue the sleep issue that I've been solving for has to do with my sleep apnea. And for several months, we switched masks. I saw a different doctor. I thought I got liners. I did this, I did that. But I finally had the whole lifestyle conversation with Chat where I said, by the way, I also have 7 herniated discs, several of which are in my neck. Long story short, we determined I needed a different pillow. Not pills, not a new mask, not all this shit, a new pillow that would simply support, the body and injury that I have. So it's certainly can be powerful.
I'll tell you what, pillow is kind of a life hack, man. Like when I started traveling a lot, I started taking my own pillow with me to hotels because what I learned is I could sleep with a good pillow on a bad bed. I could not sleep with a bad pillow, even on a good bed. And so I started taking my own pillow, and that changed my whole sleep on the road. So I take the large suitcase, and one half was my pillow, and the other half was all the stuff I needed for the trip. Man, that was a game changer to do that.
You know what I did at BCS, which was only moderately effective, and I learned this from Chat. I rolled up towels and I put them into the pillowcase.
Ooh.
So it built up force.
Yeah. That's actually a decent method because a lot of times you get a bad pillow and you just sink in it, and it really hurts your neck when you're there for 8 hours. So
yeah, I don't understand how people sleep with those things.
Yeah,
It's like tissue paper.
Yep, I don't either. Hey, let's talk about this. I just saw this on Twitter. I've been a little disconnected on this trip for good, intentionally for good reason. But I saw this recently from maybe Danielle on Twitter on X of how many fraudulent CDLs are being handed out, and they're finally being caught. Florida did a big investigation and found people that were handing out fraudulent CDLs for cash. And it's funny, like it sounds shocking, but it shouldn't be shocking. This is what people do. When people want to make money and people want to get stuff that they haven't earned, they do this. They just, swap money for something illegitimate. I have to tell on my dad. He's no longer with us, so he can't defend himself. But when I was a kid, my dad always had really cheap cars. He couldn't afford legit cars, really cheap cars, and so he would go to the mechanic and he would pay extra for an inspection, and the guy never even looked at the car. And I remember that vividly as a kid. My first car would not pass inspection. So my dad took it to the, he didn't even take it. He just went to the mechanic, paid $20 for a $7 inspection and got the inspection so I could get the car license. And this is what humans do. And so
By the way, I thought that's how it was done too.
Yep. But this shouldn't be shocking. But man, think of how many CDL holders out there have never even been to school, to CDL license school. They just have a license. That's crazy scary, man. That much weight in those vehicles. I mean, I'm driving this RV and it's 36 feet long and it's like 15,000 pounds total. And that feels like a lot for me. And it took me a while to kind of get comfortable driving this. I can't imagine getting behind the wheel of a big rig without going to CDL school, without passing, CDL trucking school. That's pretty wild. That's pretty scary. I wonder if that's going to be talked about at the Texas Trucking Association down in Houston. That's going to be a topic that they're going to talk about is, fraudulent CDLs and some of the stuff they're finding. Now they're looking into it a little bit,
It's crazy that fraud continues to seep into the industry because it's rampant, man. There's just so much, and it's between the double brokers, the CDLs you're talking about, people spoofing companies, stealing freight, there is a lot of creative scumbags out in this industry right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, guys.
Well, to touch on that and what Nick was saying about Chat GPT, how do we know Chat GPT ain't helping them write and come up with these scams? Right? I mean, and let's be honest, technology is making this stuff way easier than it should be.
Yeah,
I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. At least back in the old days, I mean, you had to put some work into forging a paper document,
Well, it's like anything else. Technology makes things easier, but it also makes things easier to circumvent or to
exploit weaknesses, man. And our industry, I hate to say it, for as tech heavy as our industry is, we're like a 5-year-old with a supercomputer. That's what logistics is. We don't have the capabilities to even use the full limits and power of the technology that we have. And where we're implementing it is all in the same places. If someone comes to me with another idea for a transportation management system, I'm going to slap you upside the head. I don't care about your TMSs. I don't care about your tracking softwares anymore. Let's do stuff that, things like, deal with Freight Validate and Trusted, Schieffer Neri, that's the company she works for, using this facial recognition software. And I know they're using it, more as a vetting tool, but why aren't we using stuff like that when you're getting your MC? I'll use this example. As a veteran, there's a site, I mean, even our spouse to get on, but it's called ID Me. And it is the US government's sign-in system for everything, I mean, and you can get discounts too and all kinds of other stuff. Point is when you sign up for that thing, you have to submit your DD-214, your driver's license, your VA card, your military retirement card, all of these things, and to even get access to the system, and then a human still has to verify all of that information. So, it's why is the government implementing these types of things in one area, they could literally just copy that program over to something like the FMCSA, and use those same things to help get rid of people. But like I said a million times before, I even said this on Friday's show, they have no reason to stop $300 per application. They would be dumb. It's free revenue. There's no incentive for them to do it, no matter how many people they crash on the road and kill other people from not being properly trained or all these things. None of that matters to them. And until we find
for it.
Exactly, until we find something that holds them accountable, Trey, or gives them some type of sensification to stop doing this, man, we're going to keep seeing it, and it's going to keep getting worse.
Yeah, the technology is definitely a double-edged sword, man. I think of it like something like, think of like pornography, for example. Back in the 80s when I was a kid, if you wanted to see something like that, you had to go to a store and buy a magazine.
I know you'd have to distract the guy at the counter.
It was personal, man. You had to work for that, and now you don't have to.
It was behind the black bag.
That's right. And Pedro, as you said, it's just allows you to exploit things like that. There's a lot of that technology does. It's definitely a double-edged sword for sure, no matter what. And you're right. I mean, until the FMCSA has a consequence, it's held accountable for that. There's no incentive or no reason for them to do that. I like what you said though. That's trucking industry is a 5-year-old with a supercomputer. We've given the 5-year-old the laptop and let him run wild. That's
exactly, dude. That is exactly it, man. And like I said, it shocks me for as tech heavy as our industry is, for a lot of the issues we have. I'm not even talking about fraud stuff, man. You know what I mean? But just things. Period. It's like sometimes I feel like we get the tech that no one else wanted. Like someone had an idea. They're like, man, we're going to sell this to NASA. And NASA's like, this sucks. And they're like, you know what idiots will buy this? The trucking industry.
There may be a little bit of truth in that. That's for sure. Oh, man. Oh, that's hilarious.
I'll make a bold comment, though, too, on tech in this industry. And I realize I'm probably about to become unpopular when I say this, but I don't care.
Oh, guys, look, nature. Let's see. I don't see if y'all can see it. Can y'all see the rabbit?
Oh, yeah. Nice.
He's about to dart.
Let's go.
Oh, look at him.
A lot of the tech in this business is just Band-Aids waiting to get bought. And not enough of it is designed to actually help end user customers. So it's very tech heavy. And I'm going to say that most of it is not helpful to actually end user customers.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I work with a lot of technology companies in the space. And what I've seen in my career is a good majority of the technology in our industry is not great technology. It's lipstick on a pig. There's a lot of good marketing out there that's making it look better than it really is. There are some really good ones that are actually kind of undercover. I mean, not well known that should be well known, and the ones that are, I think, really really well known are not that great. They're just good at marketing, and that's unfortunate. There are a couple of good players in the industry doing some really good work, and they don't have as much play in marketing as some of these others do. So we're going to change that. We're going to make some changes in that regard, but pretty crazy stuff. All right, gentlemen. Well, hey, listen, we're coming up to our time here today. It's always good to see you guys. I'm excited to get back home here in a little bit, but we don't get home till July 9th. So I'm like still a month away from being back home.
Dude, that's when I head to Utah.
Yeah. It's kind of, we're going to swap out a little bit when it comes to that, but always good to see you guys. And, I feel bad on this last couple of weeks, but I'll tell you what, it is nice knowing that you guys are there. And I know that, you guys were encouraging to me in our private group chat. And just reminds me again, man, having a tribe, having a group that's going to hold you accountable, but also encourage you and help you out is so critical. So for all you out there that are watching, again, find your tribe, find your group, get connected, and, not only be accountable to other people, but hold people accountable. And it'll create bonds unlike anything else. And I feel like that's kind of what we're doing here, which has been really exciting. So, ooh, the Tough Mudder shirt. I didn't see that. Nice. I like that.
Yeah. I got this one too, right?
When did you get that one?
I got the St. Louis 2023.
Nice.
Oh, wait,
We were both
2020.
there.
Or was it 24?
23, I was there. We were both
But
there
it was,
for 2023. The one down the gateway?
yeah, that the little
Yeah,
racetrack.
the race. Yeah, dude. I was there. I was at 8 a.m. first mud.
My years get confused right now. Was it last year or the year before I went?
Yeah, I didn't do
I don't
last
know. I think it was last year.
year. Okay. We might have missed it then. Although that shirt
Anyways,
was
yes, that's where it was. I stayed at the whatever that hotel is with the Ruth Chris right next to the arch.
Yeah.
It was an amazing trip. My boy Cleary, Scott Cleary came in. It was
Yeah.
our birthday weekend. We flew in on a Friday night, went and had dinner. Early morning, went out and got our run in. Got back to the hotel just in time to shower. Got some barbecue. Hit the airport. Went home. It was.
we're gonna have to schedule doing one of those because I love Tough Mudders. That's my fun my favorite races. Spartan races are probably similar, so we're gonna have to get together and knock one of these out. 5K, 10K. Get everybody. Get Pedro. Get Michael Lombard. Get some other people from the community. Get together and do that.
Tough Mudders is a good one for
Yeah.
for entryway into it because it's challenging, but it's not like competitive. You know,
There's no time.
Yeah, you're gonna suffer.
Just completion.
as much as you want, and
Yeah, it's just completion. Yeah,
Speaking of
Pedro, we're gonna have
suffering,
to come to Texas and do one down there. What's that, Nick?
I was gonna say, speaking of suffering, I want to make sure I give one shout out to the other member of our tribe there, Michael Lombard, finished the world's toughest canoe race this weekend, 260 miles from somewhere middle of nowhere to the Gulf. I don't know if you saw any of his social media content over the weekend, but I mean that just looked like one gnarly adventure, and our crazy friend was enjoying every second of it.
Yeah, he was. Totally was. Yeah, that guy's a little intense. If we did like a 10K Spartan race, he's gonna have to be like a half marathon after that or something. He's not never satisfied. He's gonna have to keep going. So, which is all good. All right, fellas, we'll see you guys later. Have a great week. Always good to see you guys, my friends. Thank you for the encouragement. Appreciate y'all. See you guys. Peace out.
Bye.